Okay, so dark academia is a subculture, subgenre, and an aesthetic of school life. Now, particularly, I think it really focuses on boarding schools and institutes of higher learning. So let's say, or colleges and universities. Now, for some people, it's an aesthetic and it's a vibe. And look, I agree wholeheartedly, but it's so much more. Again, aesthetic, lifestyle, vibe, cultural movement, and also a subgenre in literature. Now, in my opinion, I think it's a blend of like Gothic and Victorian in theme. So you'll see like lots of Gothic and Victorian elements combined with academic themes, right? So a love for history, art, the classics, and just knowledge in general. If I had to think about like a vibe, again, Gothic architecture, leather-bound books, quill and ink, dimly lit libraries, plaid, tweed, and just some mystery and nostalgia sprinkled in there. Now, the aesthetic is very rich, and this is also applicable to the lifestyle, I feel. It's all about intellectualism and artistic expression, because it just captures the whole spirit and vibe of learning, and of course doing so in a beautiful environment. Now, I think it draws inspiration from, say, your classic literature, your poetry, the arts, but also a bit of romance and history, and kind of like longing or yearning for past things. I think that's definitely a part of the vibe. I also think in terms of visual elements, you have those muted earth tone, sometimes dark color palettes. So think of like your deep browns, your greens, your blacks, very fall as well. So all the fall colors. But the atmosphere at the same time, it feels vintage, but it's also timeless at the same time. When I think of accessories, I think of, thick rimmed glasses. Again, like I said, the tweed jackets, plaids, ties, scarves, handwritten notes and letters and handwritten books. I mean, do you all remember when we used to actually have to handwrite our notes in schools? Also, vintage typewriters also is a part of the aesthetic. But also, I want to be very, very clear, because I know I've been talking a lot about, I guess you could say, the aesthetic and the lifestyle, but it really isn't just about appearance. It really, like, if you're living a dark academia lifestyle, it really is about learning and seeking wisdom and reading and learning from history, but also connecting with people who like the same things you do and have that same vibe. So these are people who love the charm that comes with academia. So I guess if you're someone who loves like Gothic architecture, you love the idea of, living in libraries and spending days there, then I think dark academia is the vibe for you. Okay, so dark academia as a genre. Now, this is a blend of, I feel, very atmospheric, Gothic, sometimes with a tinge of horror. And there's usually a mystery, I feel, at the center. Let me know what you think in the comments. But again, it centers around themes of academia. There is some intellectual pursuit, like there's some pursuit for learning. There's also a student or student with like a troubled life or a troubled history or a troubled, past or something. It's also usually set, let me know your thoughts as well, in like these prestigious institutions and settings. In terms of themes in these books, I find friendship, complexities of friendship. My personal favorites are like those toxic friendships. I love complicated female friendships as well. It also explores themes of love. I find there's often some tragedy involved at some point. And again, the institutions itself feel like a character in these novels. So think of historic institutions that often, elite, also often exclusive, and people dying to go there, if you know what I mean. Characters, let's see. I think the characters, they're individually. So outside of like a group setting, I find that they're often grappling with, you know, themselves. So I think you'll find coming of age narratives. They're also questioning who they are. Again, identity, coming of age, ambition. Ambition is always a big thing in there. Not a requirement, but I see it a lot. And also just, you know, the fleeting nature of youth. I think that's also noteworthy as well. Now, when you think dark academia, and often when you ask folks about dark academia, there's always one book that is always mentioned, like you can't get away from it, you know, love it or hate it. The Secret History is always going to be mentioned. Let me know in the comments if you've read The Secret History, what you think about The Secret History. Do you love it? Did you not care for it so much? I'd love to hear from you. I do think this is like a classic in terms of dark academia literature. Odds are, if someone says they are a fan of the genre, they've read this book. Whether they like it or not, of course, that's individual. But I think classic works like The Secret History, and by the way, it's by Donna Tartt. It's a staple. And at this book, I think there's mystery, there's intrigue, but there's also a question of morals at the center of this novel. And there is a group of friends. They are ambitious. And these students, their moral compass is a bit, we are reading to find out where it points. Let's just put it that way, because I don't want to spoil it for anyone. So folks often think of The Secret History. Now, where do the themes and the vibe of dark academia come from? Now, I don't know this for a fact, okay? I just feel this is a European aesthetic, a European vibe. Again, we're blending a love for history, classic literature, and just the arts. And it revolves around just love for school and knowledge and intellectualism, that kind of vibe, which I've said. And in terms of visual, Gothic, Victorian style, candlelit things, just classics, anything you find in the classics, but also anything that really encourages deep thought. I think that's a part of it. But anyway, for folks out there looking for dark academia book recommendations, I have a bunch. I'm going to share a handful of must-read books, but also some that are just fun. I mean, sometimes you just need some books for fun. So I'm going to include a link to that here. So you can also, just click through to that one and watch that video just to get straight up recommendations. But if you're a person who are like, this is my lifestyle, or this sounds like a lifestyle, I would love to kind of integrate into my own life, then, there are a couple of things you can do. I mean, when it comes to your personal library, if you're a book person like me, consider incorporating a lot more classic literature, poetry, philosophy. That's definitely a dark academia vibe. Create a cozy reading nook. I think that's also a vibe in your home. So think of like soft blankets, candles, and that kind of thing. In terms of aesthetic, consider, your wardrobe, right? I think timeless fashion pieces really can give you that vibe. I love ties. I love, bow ties, whether, I love clip ties. I guess, because listen, years of wearing uniforms. I've been wearing uniforms since I was 3, okay, all the way through uni. So there's that. Blazers. Blazers were a big part of my school uniforms. I remember wanting to wear a sweater that I got from an aunt of mine, and the school was a bit strict. You just had to wear like school blazers. It was mental. Vintage accessories, knitwears, tweeds, plaids, that kind of thing, stockings, that kind of vibe. So these are some things you can do. Look at the books, focus on your environment, and add little pieces to your wardrobe. Now, dark academia in the larger culture, again, when you think of books, The Secret History by Donna Tartt, but also in film, there's like the Dead Poets Society, also Kill Your Darlings, and I told you all about the fashion in terms of culture. That's where you get your turtlenecks, your blazers, your tweed, the vintage accessories. I think the key is you blend old with a bit of new, and I think you can pull it off. So that's kind of like guess you could say my mini deep dive into dark academia. I hope this is informative or maybe inspirational for you if you want to incorporate some dark academia vibes into your life. But if you were a bit curious or you kept hearing about it but not sure what it was, I hope this was a bit enlightening for you. But I'd also love for us to continue the conversation because, again, I don't know everything. This is just what I think, what I feel, and my vibe. But I would love to hear from you. So let's continue the conversation in the comments. Let me know what you think dark academia is. Do you agree? Is it a subculture? Is it a subgenre? Is it also a lifestyle? Is it also an aesthetic? Let me know your thoughts in general on dark academia. I have a separate video where I share some dark academia recommendations, so check that out as well. But if you have some recommendations, share them in the comments too. I'd love to hear from you. Alrighty, friends, if you haven't already, please like the video, share the video, tell a friend to tell a friend, but also hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you're the first to know what's new when I go live and when new videos are uploaded. Thanks for watching.